right, welcome everyone. I hope you enjoyed that Oprah style intro. I'm Maisha T. Hill with the amazing Lisa Flynn, PhD candidate. How are you, Lisa?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me back. I always love chatting with you.
You're so welcome. You have been our big data scientist here. For folks who are new to you, Lisa, tell the folks about who you are and what you do in the world.
Yeah. So I'm a doctoral researcher in artificial intelligence, safe and secure and diverse by design. Um, and I have about 20 years background in technology. I've been an entrepreneur. I have a master's of science in information systems management and cybersecurity. So we've been talking about ways to stay safe online. And today, I think we're going to talk a little bit about prompt engineering to how to get these AI assistants to do some work, take some workload off of our shoulders.
I love that. Now, Lisa, I want to ask you because there are people who are AI averse, due to the climate issues that we have with it, or just AI averse just because it's technology and it's taking jobs. What are the benefits of AI and prompt engineering from a social political standpoint for folks who are watching and have some tension?
Yeah, so AI is really huge in healthcare. That's actually the area where I'm creating agentic AI to help us train global surgeons um, in a more meaningful way in areas where they don't have enough like medical experts to train them. So particularly targeting low to middle income countries,
Hmm.
where there's just not enough doctors, nurses, or medical experts. So, but you can also think of AI in terms of for people who are differently abled. It's really a game changer for them. I'm going to school in Finland, so Google Translate has been my best friend in terms of helping me literally speak, one of the hardest languages in the world. So there's really a lot. It really is. Kind of levels the playing field. It can help you understand legal documents. It can help you understand business contracts. You can talk to AI just like you're talking to a person. You don't have to have a fancy degree to be able to utilize it to help you in your day-to-day lives, even with just like meal planning. You can use it to help you do reports. So I really hope that, and just like with technology and with all things, there's the dark side, and then there's the bright side. So I'm definitely cognizant of the dark side, and it is bad for the environment right now. But I think that we're working through that, and we're already seeing some solutions to that where it's not taking up so much energy
Hmm.
from other parts of the world. So that's definitely, and kind of the idea is that AI is going to help us solve those problems because it can think in ways, that humans, it can just handle so much more information. And I'm a big proponent for what's called hybrid intelligence. So that's human AI integration and collaboration, us working together. I don't think that the AI should replace humans. But I do think that the AI should give humans help. So I hope that we don't go the same way with technology, where, when the BlackBerry first came out, we were like, oh, we don't have to be in the office 24/7. And then what happened was, especially in the United States, that everywhere became the office 24/7.
Yeah.
So, and that is, that's not the same in other parts of the world. And I think, like I said, that we're aware of that this time, and we're trying to be much more responsible, much more ethical, much more conscious of where we're going with this technology.
Well, there it is. There was a comment on Instagram that says AI is what is encouraging me to transverse the gap between my experience to where tech is now. And I think I've told you about one of our friends, Chrissy, who teaches just AI basics in libraries, but she does it in libraries in low income communities because one of the things that we found was that, well, you know this, um, low income communities, Black and Indigenous and Brown folk, don't have access to learn how AI works. And I think it's important to definitely use, and I know you've taught me and my team how to use it to help us kind of do this hybrid model of working. And then for you to be doing such great work where you're designing for medical teams in areas that don't have access to medical care, I think that's beneficial. Reminds me of the AI bot I need to come to you for around mental health and peer support because it's incredibly powerful when you use it for social good and not. I think a lot of people just focus on just calling things out all the time,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
people just are finding problems where, but to your example of the BlackBerry and us now having emails on our cell phones, so we're working all day. I understand that, and I think AI there's some benefits to it for social good. I think we just all need to learn how to use it a little bit better. So tell us a little bit about AI prompting.
Yeah. So, just one point about that, we were taught to fear AI, right? I mean, with
Yeah.
Skynet and the Terminator, all of Hollywood sort of taught us to fear it. But as humans, we're resistant to change anyway. We're just sort of wired that way. So, I think that's a really good point that you made. The really cool thing about AI is it can teach you how to work with it better. Like, so you don't have to know really anything about it to get in and talk to it, just like you're talking to a person. And that's really what, the term prompt engineering,
Hmm.
um, really just how to talk to AI. And the best overall advice I can give is you don't the difference between, and AI has been around for a long time, right? Siri, Maps, there's been AI that's been around already. The difference with this AI that came out just in 2022 is that it's a natural language processing model. So instead of having to be a developer and know how to code, you can talk to AI just like you're talking to a person, just like you're talking to a friend. Um, and what I really encourage people to do is to get on one of the AI. Claude is Claude.ai is known for being constitutional AI. It's more ethical. ChatGPT is obviously the big one. They all have free versions. They all have versions for like $20 a month. But Claude is good when you started it. Like, it walks you through the process, and it kind of gets to know you, and then you just again talk to it like you would talk to a person. If you're like, hey, how do I do meal planning is a great example, right? So this is I talk about meal planning a lot. It's one of my favorite uses of AI. But you can literally say, like, listen, here's what everybody in my family eats or doesn't eat, and this is the budget that we have, and I need to make 5 dinners and 4 lunches, and my budget is $200 for the week, and I don't want to spend any more than 30 minutes cooking a meal, and I want to have leftovers. Go. And it will basically give you a grocery shopping list. It'll give you all the recipes that you need. It literally tells you exactly what to do. You can tell it what grocery store you shop at, and they'll tell you specific things to get there. So it's really an incredible tool. You can use it to, we were just talking about taxes. You can use it to help you, I'm not saying that it should take the place of an accountant, but if you're doing your taxes on your own and you don't really understand what you're doing, you can say, hey, I need help doing my taxes. Yeah, create a step-by-step guide for me. And then they're there if you have questions. So it's not just like a one and done, prompt and you get results. You can say, I don't understand. You can say, tell me more. You can say, oh, I like these 3 things, but I don't like the fourth and fifth thing you said. Try again. So it's a conversation that you're having, and that's really what prompting is a conversation. And then there are some different tricks that you can do, that are prompt engineering that will help your AI work better for you. Would you like
This
to
is
hear some?
really good. I do want to hear some, but I have something that just popped up for me that I want to work on you with, that maybe we can
Yeah,
kind of use as a trial so people
yeah,
could, with the playbook that you have created.
yeah,
But I do want a couple sessions with you,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
you said medical, and as you were talking, I'm like, is it possible to have AI help children in low income neighborhoods with speech
Mhm.
therapy, having a child that has selective mutism? And how do
Yeah,
we design that, and what questions do we ask? So that just is an idea that popped up. But
yeah.
give me some prompts. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so that's a good example, actually. So, one of my favorite prompts is act as, right? So, if you have a child that you need help with in any way, shape, or form, you can say act as the professional that you would like to talk to. So, act as a speech therapist, act as a mental health professional, act as a teacher who specializes, with special needs kids or with kids on the autism spectrum, and design a plan for an 8-year-old child who is in who is at this place right now, and we want to, these are our goals. We want to get to this place. Um, Enter, and it will, and it will give you the plan. Or you can say, one of my favorites is 20 questions. So you can say, I want to create a plan for an 8-year-old child who is in this space right now to get to this space. Ask me 20 questions until you understand enough to be able to help me and generate that plan. And it will then ask you questions one at a time, and you just answer just like you're being interviewed by someone, whether that's a healthcare professional or an expert in whatever way. And then when the AI feels like it has enough information, then it says, here's the plan. Is there anything you'd like me to adjust? Is there anything you'd like me to explore deeper? So those are two of my favorites.
Right there, Lisa.
Mhm.
As you know, the Department of Education is being dismantled.
I've
You
heard.
have told us how to use AI to be co-conspirators for kids
Yeah.
or teachers of our own children. I would have never thought about saying to AI, especially having kids that had IEPs and 504 plans, to act as a special education teacher and create an IEP for my child to X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
That is so dope.
Yep. I mean, and for all of this, right? So for act as a history teacher, act as a history teacher from Germany, teaching a U.S. history class, and
Oh,
make sure that we know, what's really going on. I mean, for your work, act. I don't understand. So I'm, that I love your work and have been doing the work for many, many years. But I could say, I'm a white lady and I don't understand what the whole problem with white tears is. Please explain it to me, right? Instead of asking or expecting people of the global majority to teach us because we don't know. You could go to your AI and ask your AI to teach you, to explain it to you.
hold on a second. I just want to give a caveat. Don't you dare go on your AI and say, act as Maisha T. Hill.
No, don't
Don't you?
do that.
Don't
That's
do
not the
that.
same. We don't
That's not
replace people. We don't
no,
replace people. But you
not
can
at
say
all.
Maisha T. Hill said this, and I don't understand
Look at that.
why that's a problem. I don't understand why asking her to teach me one on one without paying her is a problem.
You just gave us a new caption for our Instagram post. If you don't
Absolutely.
understand this, go to purchase Lisa's AI playbook to learn how to ask ChatGPT how to break it down for you.
Yep. Yep.
That is I feel so
Right.
light.
And that's the idea. It's not, so we don't want it to replace the experts. We don't want it to replace the people with lived experience. But for the questions that the experts and the people with lived experience get just over and over and over, when it's like, how many times have you said it? Right? Like, you don't need to
Right.
say it any more times. So when I used to, I've taught from on and off for my whole life, typically in college, but I was teaching when my son was in third grade. I was teaching all the third grade classes actually in his school how to code. And I had a rule that I said, ask 3 before you ask me. So before you came to me to ask me a question, you had to ask 3 of your peers if they knew, because I wanted to get the kids talking and kind of figuring things out on their own. And now I'm like, ask ChatGPT before you ask me. Like, and then to help you understand at a base level what you're talking about. And then if you want to come to me and we want to dive deeper, we want to analyze, we want to do any of those things, that's great. But please don't ask the expert to explain it to you like you're a kindergartner.
I love that. Do you mind if I read a couple of these comments from
Yeah.
Instagram? I know
Yeah,
you
let's do
can't
it.
see them. So someone said, "This is cool. Act as is so awesome." Gail says, "So dope." Someone says, "Oh yes, bam!" Like with the excitement of using ChatGPT.
Yes.
Someone says, "Yes, Maisha." Oh gosh. So which AIs know about Maisha T. Hill? I don't
Well,
know.
all the AIs will know about Maisha T. Hill because the AIs are trained on the internet, and Maisha T. Hill has been on the internet. Maisha T. Hill has a book out and has been, is a thought leader. So all of the AIs should know about Maisha T. Hill. And I think that Maisha T. Hill, where are we at with your Heal Your Way Forward GPT? because that would be a really cool thing for your people to have access to, maybe in your community as well.
Gosh, you're always giving homework. Jess, if you're still here and you're watching, put that Jess is the Heal Your Way Forward assist like guru.
Yes.
Jess, I can be like, Jess, I'm having a bad day. And Jess will be like, well, Maisha, on page this of Heal Your Way Forward, this is what you said. Like like you even had said, go read your book, Maisha, you're having a hard time. It's great to have co-conspirators who know how you have talked out loud to yourself in your own anyway. I'm just
Yeah.
getting excited because you're right, Lisa. I will work on that with Jess. We will create the Heal Your Way Forward so that everyone has access to it. Um,
Yes. And when it's yours, you know that the information that it's called training the AI. So that's when you basically load information into it. You know that you're training it with clean data. So the principle garbage in, garbage out really applies to AI as well. So, and we need to be careful of people's intellectual property rights. So everybody who's listening, like, don't go create your own Maisha T. Hill. Let Maisha T. Hill create her GPT that can help to answer some of these questions, and then direct you to where you can go to lean in to get more, to join the community, things like that. So that's I think a really important message too, is understand intellectual right. Easy for me to say, understand intellectual property rights. You can ask about a person, but don't try to create a digital twin of someone who is not you.
And I will say, if there is one that is found, we will take legal action.
Yeah.
We got to
No,
keep it.
absolutely. You have to. Yeah, you have to.
So a couple more comments. So act as, etc., is internationally accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just with any AI that you have. So whether you're ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or Copilot, there's a ton of them. When you're talking to it, if you're working on it with a particular project, so like with mine, I'd say act as a PhD research assistant and look into where artificial intelligence has been used in medical education training before. Tell me the pros and cons, and things that I need to be, careful of. And it will act as my research assistant, so act as a kindergarten teacher, act as a sales assistant, and generate a report, act as a marketing expert and do a competitive analysis in this industry, from this perspective, right? So we can be using this at work and at home. And what I just did was through another little prompt engineering trick. It's called chain of thought. So the AIs are still pretty logical, right? They think very logically. So if you can kind of chain prompts together, so it doesn't always have to be like a one and done. What I like to do a lot is say, tell me the best practices for researching this or that, or for creating a sales report or a competitive analysis. And then it'll say, when you create a competitive analysis, you have to do D to D to D to D. And then when you've got it set in that mindset, then you say, great, please run a competitive analysis on this industry, looking for, whatever it is that you're looking for, right? We could use this in social justice work too. What are the most important things to do when I'm organizing for a movement in X? It'll tell you, keep people with lived experience, center people with lived experience, don't do this in a vacuum. It'll tell you all the things. And then you say, great, please create a plan for me. So that's chain of thought prompting. And then it'll create a plan. And then it'll say, would you like me to, it'll do like an outline, like an overview. And then it'll say, do you want me to start building out step one? And you say, yes, please.
Yes. Wow, this is so okay. So we got a couple more questions. That was good. So we have thank you, Gail Call said I was a thought leader. Love that. It says so damn cool. I have brought your book for 5 friends and now I can tell them to AI it. Stay tuned. I'll let you know when you can tell them to AI it. Absolutely. There's 2 really important questions I saw. One being, do you worry that chat GPTs will make us less in community with each other compared to seeking out a human?
Yeah, I mean, that is a concern. And we're already right now seeing people that I just saw a story on mainstream media about AI being a romantic partner, and people just, and forming relationships with their AI, and which is, which the psychologist they had on the same segment was like, well, that's a all take and no give relationship. So that's probably not a really healthy place to be. But if you need someone to vent to, or kind of get your head straight with, then AI can be a good sounding board. So do I worry about us losing the community aspect? I do. I worry about some of us, and I think that will happen on the fringes. What I hope we will do as a society and as a people is hand off a lot of our mental load, the stuff that wears us out. That we don't really need our big creative, compassionate human brains for. I hope we'll offload that stuff so that we have more time to be in community with other people, because that's where we really need to be as humans. That's how we were wired.
I hear.
So yeah,
So like offload our productivity so we can be together.
yes,
That
yeah.
sounds amazing.
Like the
Um,
meal planning, right? Like how many hours could we save a week, or doing reports, or in research, it's generally regarded as okay. We need to disclose when we use AI, but like I don't have to do full literature reviews anymore. I can say do a literature review on these 5 papers. Here's the perspective that I'm looking at, and instead of me sort of having to do that work that is doesn't use my big brain, it's just like we have to show the foundation, the theoretical foundation of the new work that we're doing. So we're able to offload that now, doing reports, like I said, market analysis, competitive analysis, just like doing the background homework. Like we don't have to do that anymore, and we'll get more complete um, results because it can process so much more data. And for people who English is not your first language, it's a really good translator too, and is really helpful in terms of helping communicate in the style of what I'm saying English because you're in America, but it helps me to communicate in Finnish when I'm here in Finland, in ways that that allow me to convey the concepts that I'm wanting to talk about, and people won't get caught up on the me stumbling over the words.
yes. Okay. Wow. I have like three more important questions. DCIC, you said, how do y'all, me and you, reconcile the energy cost of AI? Is there any integrity in AI considering the climate catastrophes that it is driving?
Yeah. So
Hmm.
AI is not the only thing driving the climate catastrophe. So let's be upfront about that. It is definitely a component. The way that I reconcile that is it doing more harm than good? Right now, I think no, I think it's doing more good than harm. And I think that AI gives us the opportunity to sort of leapfrog over technology in a way that we'll be able to right a lot of wrongs. And I truly believe, and discuss this with other people that are creating policies for AI. I think AI is going to solve the problem. AI is going to figure out how we can get clean energy. And we're moving through that. I don't think that we already are seeing some models that don't require that amount of energy. So, when it first happened, and it's like, oh, here are some ill effects. Know that there are a lot of smart people all over the world addressing those
Yeah.
exactly. So I don't think that that's going to be the climate catastrophe that it seems like it could be right now. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa. And I just want to say from my perspective, if you're waiting for my answer, how do I reconcile it? I was a Black single mother who had to take several classes, get several certifications to build the platform Check Your Privilege. And now AI for me is a tool to use to help leverage the knowledge I already have and use it as a productivity hack so I have more time for my family. I reconcile it with the 5 minutes that it's used by using a timer and being mindful of my usage and understanding for me as someone who is generating a lot and sometimes just has a clarifying question to help me process. For me, I just need it to help me clarify and process a thought, and I'm not someone who's using it 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, if that makes sense. So that's my reconciliation, and it's not probably not the answer anyone's looking for, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Someone also just said, oh, go ahead, Lisa.
No, I just think we're going to get to a better place. So I'm not trying to defend. I do definitely recognize that it is that, you know, that it's using a lot of water. It's doing things that are not great, and the what America is doing with it in terms of building big plants in Texas and things like that are, um, I, you know, that's not great. It's not very ethical. But we're working on it.
Yeah, thank you for that. Um, Someone said that this is cool from a total opposition point of view. They're opening their mind to it. So thank you so much because they hadn't considered this side of AI. They are Kiwi convert watching from New Zealand. Thank you, New Zealand, for chiming in. Um, Gina says AI can't show emotion and deprives you the opportunity to grow in empathy. Maybe not for all individuals, but autistic people, for example. Um,
So yeah, I'm glad you brought up the autistic use case. AI is actually, when you understand how to work with it, is really good for autistic people and people with ADHD. It can get you unstuck, and it can help you communicate in your under your terms, and then it will basically help you translate so the rest of the world can understand clearly what you're trying to communicate as well. So again, I think it's understanding how to use the AI. Um, yeah, it's um, it's a tool, right? Like, use it as a tool. It's not supposed to be the be all end all. It's supposed to help humans be able to navigate things, including communication, quite a bit easier. And it helps, you know, my son is on the autism spectrum, right? It helps him understand. Um, and I've worked with a lot of students in the same space where, like, they don't understand cliches sometimes, or metaphors, or uh, terminology that people use, commonly, and they can go to the AI. Excuse me, sorry. They can. It's almost a really obnoxious sneeze on a live. They can go to the AI and just say, without having to sugarcoat or be mindful of how they're saying it. I don't understand this. Explain this to me,
yeah,
or help me explain what I'm trying to say in a way that my teacher, my mother, my girlfriend, will understand. So,
yeah,
and then in the unstuck, when you get into sort of the just the ADHD or autism spectrum, like, stuck mode, you can go to AI and say, I'm stuck here. Please give me 3 to 5 strategies on how to get unstuck from this place where I'm at.
yeah. I also want to say that not everybody knows I do have an empathy one that I'm training. So there's a couple of you who are in the comments. If you guys send me an email at hello@checkyourprivilege.co, I will send you the empathy one that I have. Um, Let me just put it across the screen for accessibility so you can see my email. If you email me here and then I'll respond within 48 hours, I will send you a link. So for you, Gina, you can have your kid try it out and then let me know what to tweak, and I can work with Lisa and oh, I can't think of her name. I just lost it, to help me tweak it a little bit, because it is good for, I think, to your point, Lisa, autistic and ADHD people. I have to use it all the time for my, not all the time, but often for some things that I don't understand or process.
Yeah. Yeah. I've used it quite a bit in the compassionate work, that I do as well, in terms of, I'm all about implementation. And so, using that to say, how can I show up as a more compassionate person at work, at school, at church, in my community, whatever it is. And then your empathy bot is really, really great.
Yeah, that has like it's got a lot of compassion in it, a lot of different
Mhm.
practices somebody can use to access things. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. But Lisa, you have putting this link up here, wrong one. You have a AI playbook. Tell the folks about it and what's involved.
Yeah, I made, well, thank you for your gentle nudges for me to actually put some of this in writing and create a playbook. So I appreciate that. It's all because of you. So it has a lot of these prompt engineering tricks, like 20 questions, act as, chain of thought. It tells you how to do it. This one is mainly for professionals, so I'm going to be writing another one for just humans at home and in life. And it will help you sort of train your AI to be able to use it in really, really advantageous ways. And then I also created an AI powered learning guide that goes with it. So they come together as a set where it actually encourages you to go on to your favorite AI, and start actually practicing, because that's when like the magic happens. You can read about it, you can listen to us talking about it and go like, oh, that's cool. But like when you sit down and actually start getting specific with, utilizing AI in your own life, that's when you're like, so I'm really hoping that people will be able to roll up their sleeves and put this super powerful tool to work for them.
Would you be open, Lisa, to just doing like a live working session with a group of folks who are interested?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Who's
Let's
in?
do it.
Who's in? Who's in? If you guys are interested to learn how to use it for your life as a productivity, what was it, Gail? You just posted it. Gail's one of our co-conspirators in our collective, a productivity. What did we say, Lisa? Oh, to offload productivity.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we call it, offloading productivity. Okay.
Yeah.
Chat GP.
Yes.
Ooh, that's good. Save
Yeah.
that. Um,
I like it, Gail. Was it Gail? Thank
it's
you.
Gail. Yeah, practice makes magic. Gina, yes. Okay, cool. So I'll keep you guys informed, and I'll work with Lisa. Lisa's super busy, but would love to have you kind of lead that section. Oh, Tripper Sauce, you're in too. It is 4:30
Yay.
a.m. there. Well, good morning. I don't know if you saw my email. It's hello@checkyourprivilege.co, Tripper. So just stay tuned. We'll post it here on the feed as well. I forget we're international. That's so cool.
You're totally international. I'm
I need
sitting
to
on
go.
the edge of the Arctic Circle up here, baby.
I need to go to. We need to come on a world tour. What would that be like?
Ooh, that'd be fun. We should do
Hmm,
that.
You never know. 2026. All
That's
right.
it.
Well, Lisa, I appreciate you and thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it. And one before we go, one word. Last time we were on, we were talking about cybersecurity and safety. So I just want to remind everybody to make sure that your passwords are good, or passphrases. Make sure you're using multi-factor authentication, and to create those safe words within your family, so that you know if you're talking to, because there is the dark side of AI with deep fakes, and it's being used by threat actors in that way. So safe words or safe phrases are really important to have with your family, so that if you ever wonder if the person on the other end of the line, is really who you think they are. We're just using these cryptography, going back to old school, the little Orphan Annie decoder rings. So stay safe online, friends.
I love it. There's something I did want to ask that's for Cheryl. Cheryl wants to know, will AI replace software engineering because her son is worried?
Hmm. Well, you see a lot of that. Like I see a lot of that online. By 2026, there will be no more software engineers. The thing is that AI is not creative and it doesn't have goals. So I think that it would be smart for your son to start learning how to program AI, how to train AI, and kind of expanding his skill set from what we call now kind of like old school coding into, how we're going to be moving forward. We go a lot faster. AI is really good to help debug, but it's not, I don't think that it's going to replace software engineers, full stop, but I do think the software engineers need to learn how to work with AI.
Mm-hmm. It's a good piece of advice. Shara, I hope that's helpful. For all of you who are tuned in, this will go on the Maisha T. Hill YouTube account. Lisa, thank you so much for your time. And it will be here on Instagram and on our Facebook page. Lisa, again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, friends. Well, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Maybe it'll be Lisa. Maybe it'll be, who knows? Let's wait and see. You all have a great Sunday.